Oh, hey, Kathleen. See you're playing the DS there. Yeah, FYI, Hotel Dusk is out today.
Yeah.
Why don't you go fucking buy it?
Okay. Well, good morning.
Oh my god! What the fuck are you guys playing? Turn this crap off. Give me your DS. Go play Hotel Dusk. It's out. Buy it. Thank you.
What the hell are you doing? My fingers.
Dude, does anyone know anything in this office? Dude. Finally someone gets it. Nelson's playing Hotel Dusk.
Michael, not
I'm
right
glad
now.
you're finally playing
No,
it.
dude, not right now, dude. I'm
Wait.
trying to be at my fastest score.
Wait,
Brain
you're
Age
not
right now.
playing Hotel Dusk?
No, man. 6 minus 2 is 4.
You're playing Brain Age?
Brain Age, man. I'm trying to get my fastest score here.
What the fuck?
Hey, I don't wanna go to work today. Wanna stay home and play all my video games on the one-up show. You know you'll be a star on the one-up show. You already are. Every day is like a holiday. One-up, 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 one-up on the one-up show. One-up, 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 one-up on the one-up show.
Oh my god.
What's up?
You gotta come see this. Sean Elliott sent me this video.
Oh, Sean Elliott,
Yeah,
perfect.
I'll start it over. Check it out.
Let's turn. Oh my god.
What happened?
What's going on?
I don't know. I'll go find out.
Oh my god.
It's the best sports game I've played on next-gen console so far, by far. Even, you know, I know Fight Night, everybody's gonna say, oh, Fight Night's the greatest thing ever, but it's the best-looking sports game I've seen on a next-gen console. And not just because the guys look realistic or move really well, it's like every court that you go to has almost like a little sense of style to it, whether it's like the different tone of the colors and stuff. Basically, you're going around to these different famous players' home courts, like Rip Hamilton and Carmelo Anthony, and they kind of give like a synopsis of like what it was like being there and stuff. And normally those come off as pretty cheesy, but top with the voiceovers with like some really cool like cuts of like stills of the area. Like I feel like I actually gave a shit about like the players and their cohorts and stuff.
Home to West Coast street ball's cream of the crop. Yeah, we're Venice Beach, and we ball the best out here in the West.
The way the creative player works, I mean, I thought it was a little limited, but it put you on your court, and it was a crappy looking court, and as you play through the game, that develops, and you go away from your court, and then you come back to it. And I thought that was a really significant storyline, and I thought it was really cool how that progressed.
But how cool is it that your home court, because you have two home courts basically, you have the outdoor and indoor, and the indoor one is basically modeled after Hoosiers. It's, you know, the Hoosiers gym, so I mean that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the way your character is built is through how you play the game. So if I make shots, my shooting is going to go up. If I, you know, it's a pretty simple system, but at the same time, it works really well. And every single characteristic or every single attribute means something.
Well, I mean, you know, we talked about, you know, the visuals are great and everything, but I think in terms of gameplay, they've taken it to the next level where in terms of, you know, now your trick buttons are basically X and Y, or on 360 it's like 2 buttons plus the triggers, like all, and it's like basically I can be in rhythm, like I can adjust if I'm going like a slow bounce or a quick bounce, right on the fly. I can have really total complete control over it. So you have that in terms of your tricks, but then you also like the little things like now being able to like use a guy as like a launching pad to dunk, like getting the timing down so like not only dunk once but twice and having it count as 2. Or like the best thing is like when you fuck it up and like all of a sudden you go for a big dump and you like splat against the backboard, get your foot caught in the rim, like little, like, I call them like the schoolyard moments where you're going to go home and tell your friend, like, oh my god, you should have seen what I did. Like, you almost want to do something bad to see what happens.
It feels more like a video game than a sports game, so I think anybody that plays video games is going to like it because there's so much action and it's so fun. And if you don't know the athletes, you figure out who dunks, figure out who shoots, whatever. But as for the game breakers, I mean, dare I say, I think they're perfect.
The whole thing is, it's like a give or take. Like, if you sit there and try to dribble and kind of increase that point meter, you also risk the person actually being able to defend and like steal the ball away from you, because it's a lot easier to kind of do that now in the game breaker. So, and once you can steal it, it can go back and forth. So I just think it's less that guarantee, which I think we want.
Yeah, and also if you're showing off and you're busting up, I mean, the way it works is basically it goes, you know, you get 1 point plus 2 points plus 3 points as you continue to do it. But in one game I went back and forth 3 or 4 times before someone actually scored the game breaker. And I mean, by the end of it, you're just like, oh, I can't mess it up, I can't mess it up. And then when you finally do that dunk or that might take that shot, it's incredible.
Another thing is, you know, people who like bitch and moan about EA games, like this is the first EA game to run at 60 frames per second on a PS3 or 360. So like, it's really noticeable in terms of just the smoothest of animations and how I mean, these guys look great. I mean, they look awesome, but just they move the way they should.
Let's go, I told you. What you got? Come on, man. Don't travel. Hit the 3. Somebody's open.
This kind of gives me a glimmer of hope for NFL Street. Like, if they can kind of, I just don't understand why they just don't take that mentality or that team and put them, like, basically all they gotta do is get the NFL to, like, not grab EA's nuts so hard and let them have a little fun with the NFL license, and they might actually make a really good game. Limit to PS3 and 360, make it look freaking awesome, do some innovation in gameplay, and have some fun. Like, make it fun. Just take what NBA Street does and kind of bring that to football.
What was that video?
What's up, dude? It's your mom.
It's my mom. No, I remember Infestation. We talking about this back like a year ago when it wasn't done yet.
Right. So, the source mod about bugs. You could be a termite, you could be a wasp, you could be an ant.
Can I be a dung beetle?
So in that video, it's like you start off as a larvae, and you have like a different gestation time, like depending on the species you are, and so you just kind of wiggle and roll around there until you become an ant or whatever it is. Imagine if you took, I don't know, FPS in the sense that you're used to, Team Fortress or something, but instead of classes, you know, you take the natural caste system of social insect. So an ant, you've got soldiers, you've got builders, workers, and so instead of like an engineer building a sentry gun, you sort of cultivate like a poison fungus that causes the other, you know, that causes the rival insect society to hallucinate, or cacti that little, you have to suspend your disbelief a bit, but they'll shoot you with sticky needles and stuff like that. Then they take and add like an RTS element to it where there are resources and you have these queens, and these are basically pheromone trails. So what happens is if you're a worker, you go and you create these paths and you have other automated workers, drones or whatever,
right?
And you basically take them to food supplies, depending on the type of species you are. It could be a mushroom, it could, you know, be like a leafy plant, and they start going back and forth, you know, harvesting that, and then it allows you to build special structures, equivalent of like, you know, healing ones that you go to heal, ones that cause you, it's like a tech tree in an RTS, you know?
Right.
Here it's like a tech mushroom or something, I guess. You know, so. Like you'll see these like large-headed, you know, super soldiers there, and you get winged. In later versions, they haven't implemented them yet, but you have like winged soldiers and stuff that can fly.
So no one actually plays as the queen, right?
But right now, the queens are basically just spawn points and also like territories. So like, you know, in a battlefield or something where you capture the flag in this, you just go and like jack their queen. There's like almost like a perfect analog for what you're used to everywhere else. So like instead of picking up invisibility, you can do, you know, chemical masking.
Right.
And so you just sit there, but basically the other, you know, the termites can't see you, and you can just sit there in the middle of them, or you could use that to get by their sentries, for example, their plants. So you could shoot like formic acid and like all this other stuff. For this game to like hit, you know, sort of critical mass in the audience, it has to convince people that, hey, it's just as cool to be a termite and pinch the shit out of something as it is to be, you know, a guy with like a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher or something.
Then
like
it
that.
seems to me what would be important is like the actual. I mean, obviously you said that there's like, you know, you can build sentry guns, you have pinchers, and you know, like you attack other things. It's like a weapon-based FPS. Is it fun to crunch people up with your pinchers yet?
It's really like heavily dependent on the melee attack, like biting and stuff. And the problem with like first-person games is like, I mean, it's always a big challenge to get melee to work well. And there's always something clunky about that. You know, the hit detection. Did I really get in the sense that I like bit them or hit them with a sword or something?
Right.
So far though, it's not super successful in the way that mods work. You know, I mean, you can, and I'm just judging this by the number of servers up. Right. And that says a lot because it tells you how many people downloaded it, and then how many people are like, all right, I'm willing to dedicate my computer to this, and there's going to be enough people playing.
Has Valve like put it on the front of Steam or anything like that yet? I mean, is it getting any sort of promotion?
Right, it hasn't yet,
Right.
and that's a big factor. If they did put it up there, they're gonna have a lot more eyes on it automatically. It's like having a big hour. It's like getting a Super Bowl advertisement or something.
Yeah, that's essentially what it's like.
It's a pretty complicated game, and it doesn't have like a tutorial built in it, so you have to do the PDF. Some of the in-game information's not even there. You hit weapon 3, and really what it is it's like a secretion that destroys an enemy structure, but you don't really know that until you've gone and checked it out. So, you know, I always get into these games and play with friends, and some immediately just want to make fun of it and laugh. I mean, that's why I ended up doing that, like, Birth of a Tard or whatever that video was, you know, like, but like to me it's interesting. I mean, I like insects and stuff, and it's a fun game to play. But like just the melee stuff, if that's all you're doing, that's not so much fun. It's more fun to fight for the territories, get your structures up, and just try to take out their queens and stuff like that, or place, you know, stealth with the different powers.
It's just refreshing to every once in a while see a game that doesn't look like, you know, even though it is essentially a team-based FPS with a few RTS elements, which seems to be getting more and more popular in the source mod scene.
Especially in source mods, but even outside of that. I mean, everyone's like wanting to just like freaking out, hybridizing everything these days.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, even something like the multiplayer in Crisis to some extent, you know, and I mean, we're seeing, you know, RTS is becoming more action-oriented, you know, first-person shooters becoming more strategic and more tactics-oriented. I mean, PC doesn't always live up to the assumption that, you know, because anyone can basically get in and make this sort of thing. It's kind of like the father of, you know, of innovation for, you know, for gaming. And it's cases like this where I think it definitely is, you know.
Oh, indeed.
I mean, you know, Xbox Live and things like that, and XNA are coming out and bringing that space to consoles now.
But it's going to be a while before anyone does anything like this in XNA.
To this extent, yeah. If you look at it, it's. I mean, it's all normal mapped, and I mean, it looks great. They spend a great deal of time, like, you know, down to the music. You can just like play the music independently if you want.
It's multiplayer, it's online, and people are playing it right now. Like you said, there's not that many of them, but I mean, you're in a server with other people playing.
Yeah, you can get a game going. It's like right now I'm in like a 60-player server, and there were like 30-something people in when I joined.
It's pretty cool.
And that's more than enough. So, yeah, definitely, I would go mess around with it and see what you think.
All right, I'll check it out. But you know, if you make any more of those awesome videos, let me know.
For you, man.
Cool. Catch you later.
Sexy Beach. We need more videos. Like, just get them somehow.
I totally agree with you, but I can't find any more videos of it. So maybe if we just import it, $20. I found the link.
All right,
very cheap.
wait. We can't be connected to it in any way, but
I need to import it. We need to import it.
Whoa!
So,
wait a second. It's Ryan
with the DS.
With the DS.
Yeah. I thought you only played PSP games.
Well, that's usually the case, but I play DS occasionally. It's not my favorite.
What do you got?
It's Brain Age.
No, not Brain Age, dude. Hotel Dusk.
Hotel Dusk? Hotel Dusk? Holy shit, I'm coming over. So.
Yeah, kind of like it. I think it's kind of good. And
It's-
by kind of, I
it's
mean
kind
really freaking good.
It's kind of one of the best DS games out there right now.
Kind of one of the best DS. I think it is absolutely the best DS game that's out right now.
It's basically like the game that I was like, man, this is why I love the DS. When I was in college, I took a pop literature class, and so we had to read a lot of romance novels and science fiction stories. And one of the things we had to read was like pulp detective novels. And at the time, I'm like, pulp detective novels, I don't care about this crap.
Right.
And I read The Maltese Falcon by Dashiell Hammett. And after reading that, I'm like, this is one of the coolest books I've ever read. It was so awesome. And while I was playing Hotel Dusk, I was like, Hotel Dusk is basically like The Maltese Falcon in an interactive novel. The characters themselves are like, not only are they realistic, but they like look like normal people.
Yeah.
And they talk like normal people. Like the localization is so good. Back to the whole gritty detective novel. Like the way to describe things, like they call a gun a piece. They call money scratch.
Yeah.
It's like little things like that. It's like,
but it doesn't feel forced either, and that's important. Like they could have fucked it up. Like they could have used the proper lingo, but the writing could be bad. And,
it's true.
But it's not. You say that this is the type of game that makes you love the DS.
Yeah.
The fact that there wasn't a game like this was the reason I didn't like the DS.
Yeah.
Like the DS like has so much potential to be this platform that's like takes games in existing genres and like reimagines them and makes them perfect for this exact system. Once you start playing, as soon as you start solving puzzles like that only use the touchscreen, or like writing yourself little notes so that you can remember things later, or you know, like just that, writing notes. Like how long have I wanted a game where I could like write notes to myself? It's not that this game's perfect, but it's like it does so many things right that like the negatives don't matter, and I feel like developers could learn so much by just playing this game, and not only in the adventure genre, in any genre. Like imagine if like an RPG developer played this game and realized like, oh, like this is a better way to handle conversation in games, in our games. Like these characters feel much like more animated and like full of life than any like RPG portrait you would ever see. The fact that this game has a complete 3D engine that like works, like moving around isn't a hassle. You don't ever think about like, oh, the camera's weird here, or any like that doesn't ever come up, you know? I'm not a big reader. I don't like reading books. Like I like playing video games, I like listening to music, I like watching movies. But like this game, it's like the experience of reading a book, except for I get to play it. The story is fairly linear. Like even though you make choices in dialogue, you know, like it's a linear game. If I had more of an impact over the outcome of the story, if it really did like totally change and you had a lot of control over the actual narrative, it would be better.
If you say the wrong things, you can actually have a game over screen.
But that's the thing, is like it just ends at a game over. What if instead of ending at a game over, it like led to a different outcome in the game?
It would have to be more of like a Mass Effect kind of like dialogue tree system.
Exactly.
Which I think would be amazing in this game as well. Hotel Dusk does a really amazing job of like kind of directing you where to go without like slapping you on the wrist and saying like, you need to talk to this character right now. Like, and then it gets to the point where you know the hotel enough to be like, if they were gonna hide something, where would it be? So you're like, all right, let me go check this out. And sure enough, you'll find what you're looking for.
In old adventure games, like you'd have to like hump the side of the walls to find that one doorknob that you were supposed to open. Well, in this game, the things that you're allowed to look at, like it's very obvious what you should be looking at. And then what's nice about it is like you can check out every object in the environment. Like maybe you're looking for a sticker that's on the side of a television screen, and like they let you rotate the camera just a little bit to find that sticker. Maybe there's 3 tables in that shot as well. And if you click on the table and like get him to say something about it, he'll say, "Oh, it's a nice table." And then you click on the next table and he says something different. It's not the same damn phrase. Like it encourages you to like look at every single object in the environment.
The dialog's pretty funny too. I mean, you go into the bathroom, it'd be like, it's like, well, looks like it's a toilet, you know, like.
Yep. Big surprise, fucking toilet in the bathroom. This was your first 10, right?
This was my first 10.
I mean, I don't like scoring games. I don't like putting scores on games, but like, yeah, I think everyone who has a DS should play this game. So
yes,
sure, 10.
I agree. It's more or less my way of saying like, you know, this game is like something you would have overlooked.
Yeah.
Look at it. So as far as the other scores go.
Yeah, what were the other scores?
Jen gave it an 8, and so did Jeremy.
8.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. 8s.
Man,
let's go
figure out
let's go talk to
talking
let's
about.
go talk to
I heard you guys down the hall.
So Miss Jennifer,
welcome to my world. I gotta talk you down a little bit. It's a video game.
Yeah.
Not a book. And I think a 10 means that the gameplay is so compelling, unique, creative.
So you're
maybe
saying like
even a little bit.
So you're saying like the awesome story and like the way the awesome way he utilizes the touchscreen is not compelling at all, and I just kind of like just playing some like.
You don't think it's revolutionary? People have done very ingenious things with the DS before. The touchscreen implementation on a game like Brain Age or like Electroplankton or even something like Trauma Center is like, it's smart, and no one's been able to do games like that before. But, you know, those games don't always tickle me that much as a hardcore gamer. Like, for me to get a genre, a pre-existing genre, and like have it spun perfectly for this console, for this.
DS has a lot of quirky, interesting games with weird stories.
It's not quirky. Quirky is the wrong word. It is not quirky.
Well,
it's serious.
If you look at Phoenix Wright, Phoenix Wright is like this similar type of game, but it does things that are like so much better than Phoenix Wright.
Quirky is the wrong word. Unusual.
If you look at any like role-playing game, where like the story's okay, but what do you hear? What's like the most common complaint with role-playing games? It's a cliched story. It's like save the world, blah blah blah. Or like with this, it's like it's not like that at all. Like Contact and stuff, yeah, I mean those are kind of cool, but they don't have that kind of like visual appeal and that kind of like maturity to kind of like bring it out to, you know, like a mainstream audience, where I can see people playing Hotel Dusk. Why? Because it's almost like you're arguing, it's almost like an interactive novel. And so I can see maybe a mom or a pop thinking like, and accepting this game, because Phoenix Wright, like they'll look at that and be like, oh, this is for kids, it's too kiddie, it's too niche. But like Hotel Dusk, it's totally like it's just enough game for gamers, but just enough like casual appeal for casual people.
I totally agree with you there. The touch screen aspect of it was too much of clicking next, next, next. I don't like having to wait for text to appear on the screen, and since, as we know, the story is really important here, and I loved the story, and I think that's what it gets a lot of points for.
The text does move slow, and you kind of wish you could like speed it up and that sort of thing. You know, like I play a lot of shooters and like action games, which are like not like this at all. And to find a game where, you know, like I've played for 5 hours already, I'm not that far, and like there's no combat. It's not like I'm, you know, going to wield a gun, and you know, like this is all about reading text, walking through, exploring one space like pretty thoroughly. It is a slow-paced game, but that's kind of what I like about it, you know.
There aren't enough puzzles, and there's too much reading. I mean, there's a lot more reading than puzzles.
You're complaining about like the fact that like this is a like pretty much a interactive graphic novel.
For the gamers out there who are wondering, you know, what is it about this game that I'm gonna love? The story is important, and if you're into film noir, if you're into detective, you're gonna love it more than if you're just looking for like a cool story and cool puzzles. Remember, 8.0, good score, award-winning score in EGM, rare score to get. A game should be thrilled to get an 8, 2 8s.
You just hate black and white, is that what it is?
Who's going, Ryan? Look at those guys with Milky over there. That guy is the best Virtua Fighter player from Korea. And those two guys are like some badass players from VF.com.
What are they doing here? Like,
what do you think they're doing? They're training Milky for the tournament, man.
They're trading Milky for the tournament? Those three badasses over there?
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit better than playing with Jason, right? Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Shane's gonna get fucked.
Yeah. Thank you, June, for coming over from Korea, where your status as the #1 Korean of all time has gained you legend and fame. To take the time to train me in Virtua Fighter. I appreciate it. And Strider from VirtuaFighter.com and KT Tall Guy from VirtuaFighter.com in showing me your secrets in karate. Shane's got 2 tactics. He either button mashes or he runs away for the entire fight. What do you guys think about that?
You watch his video and all he does is PPPK.
Yeah.
Just block that shit. Just block it and own him.
He doesn't even mix it up. He just like
not at all.
He's just like punch, 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 kick.
Go!
He doesn't even know what's going on when he's playing.
The thing that really impressed me was like his hands are moving so fast, and you know his pupils are dilated. Yet the stuff happening on the screen is just not even interesting
not actually
at all.
moving on
There's
the
nothing
screen.
on the screen happening at all.
Yeah, my character's intro statement says "No chicken people." That was devoted to Shane. So for the entirety of the history of the world of Virtua Fighter, like he will be eternally embarrassed.
It's really good that we can finally get this, in the open.
That's what that means. For anyone that buys this game,
We'll
no
know
chicken
that.
people,
No
no
chicken
Shane.
people, right? Yeah, and that came from Yu Suzuki himself.
Fight 4. Ready? Go!
Yeah!
I think you should just go play DOA.
Yeah, dude, DOA.
Or Mortal Kombat.
Let's leave him alone for a bit.
You know that game we went and played a few weeks ago, PSP?
Yeah, man, when are they gonna let us blow the lid off on that?
I think it's next week
now.
now.
I'm sick of sitting on it.
I know,
It's too
I can't
cool.
wait to tell people it's pretty crazy.
Tell people.
Hey
I wanna
Jeremy, so you gave an 8 to Hotel Dusk. Why, man? Why?
It's a good score.
Yeah, it's one of those games that like the review score just breaks when you start talking about it because it's not. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares about that? What I want to know is why you gave a 7 to Lunar Knights.
7?
What do you have against the Kojima?
I did give it a 7, and the thing is, I didn't play the original Bakai. I didn't play Bakai 2, so I don't.
What are you calling it there?
Bakai.
Baka guy? What do you call him? It's called Bowtie.
Bowtie, whatever the hell you call this crazy game. I didn't. Basically, with Lunar Knights, it was fun, but it was like the same repetitive combat, and like it kind of got better when like they added in the second character into the mix.
Get out of my way!
Which
is like in the first hour of the
When you first 30 minutes.
I like how you're complaining with two completely different combat styles.
It was such a chore.
Like
that
a well,
first 30 minutes
thought
when I was
out.
getting used to the gameplay. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're complaining about an action RPG with two completely different characters and these like shooting sequences that are completely unlike anything else.
Let's go back to the combat, which is okay. Essentially, the combat with the dark character is you have a sword and you just slash. That's all you do.
It's Zelda-like. I mean,
it's
no,
very
you get the
boring.
No, there's all these other attacks.
Okay, yeah,
with
and it's cool that you get the character with the gun. I'm like, yeah, that's great, but only one gun is useful, and that is like the homing missile gun.
The more you play, the more the other weapons become available. Like, as you go through the game, you have to backtrack through a lot of the levels, which can be really, really tedious until you realize that you can use the little ninja double machine guns, which are really fast and just wipe all the weaker enemies out.
The backtracking, I was like, okay, cool, you can backtrack and do some stuff, and so I did. I changed the weather.
There's a lot of hidden stuff.
I got some new weapons, but the funny thing is, when I first started doing that, I'm like, all right, I'm actually gonna go back. I went up to the guy, I changed the weather. It's a complex process. It took a while, and my reward was like a piece of fruit. And plus, the RPG elements were I felt like they were kind of like underutilized. It was like really, really, really basic.
It's not customization.
But it was just. But in terms of like equipment,
it's not your typical armor where you just get like a more and more powerful piece. Every piece of armor you get is it's actually really dependent on what the weather's like. So you can get stuff that gives you a big spirit boost or whatever during cloudy weather, or you can get something that gives you a big defense boost during humid weather or something. So you actually kind of control how useful your armor.
The problem with that is the armor was pretty expensive, and because like there's so many different choices, like there's like, you know, light, dark, cold, like it seems like you'd have to like waste a lot of money to buy several different armor just to use them in those situations. Like, oh wait, it's cold outside, I'll put on my cold armor.
Really, the best thing to do is to specialize at the beginning and try to, you know, fit the one weather type that you're currently using. And then as you start earning more money, those things become cheaper and easier to accumulate. And then you start branching out.
In a way, but I was like hoping just for like just a standard like just regular armor that's like...
You can't go into Final Fantasy and like buy all the armor at the shop right away.
But usually, but in Final Fantasy though, you can get your standard armor that's like good for everything. Like in this game, like all the armor is specialized. The ship battles, like they're kind of cool, they're kind of fun.
I think they're really fun.
Actually. Okay, they're kind of fun at first, but the thing is, the more you play, they start adding in all the elements into the mix.
It makes it better.
It kind of makes it better if the controls were actually like in a way that you can make it so you wouldn't have to like move the ship with your stylus and shoot by tapping a touchscreen.
I would say it requires some dexterity.
Yeah, you
possibly
actually,
some gamers don't have.
You might actually have to continue at some point. At some point, it might become challenging.
So you're saying it's okay for the game to make you do two things at once, which is actually incredibly awkward.
No, actually,
and not,
the space battles, even though you're controlling and shooting with just the stylus, the battles are designed around that.
Yeah.
It's not like it's broken or something where you have to dodge and shoot at the same time. Everything that comes onto the screen is pattern-based. I mean, it's really easy to predict the patterns.
That's like, you know, in Galaga, one time I had to move out of the way because the guy was coming. That game sucks.
Yeah, but
it's like you're complaining.
It's not like, but in Galaga, you're not moving and shooting with the same button, though.
You can use your triangles. You have a shield. You have all these other abilities.
That's great and all. But the thing is,
you to use those.
If they would have had the D-pad, so the D-pad moved the ship, and then you tap with the stylus, that would have been so much better. It's so much easier because you actually and using the different things, you had to like actually like press the R button and like cancel, like stop the battle in mid motion and switch to the different ships or the different triangles to like pick your thing. So it's like it's actually not that intuitive because it's like you're stopping battle to switch. Like I thought like a battle should be like fast paced and fun.
Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah, definitely.
Where you do that all the time. I mean, it's the equipment system. No, the equipment system
so
is
in Galaga, you would like it if you stop the battle and think about what you're doing. You're like, oh, I gotta stop and think about what guns I want to use. No, it's supposed to be like a fast-paced shooter, and it's not that like it doesn't like the controls don't seem to work for that.
Fans of complexity will enjoy this, you know.
I do feel the translation's a little weird because on some levels, it's kind of a grim story. You've got this world where vampires have taken over, and if you don't mind them sucking your blood, you can live a good life. But you know that's
It's
not
also
really
a weirdly
a good world.
futuristic and medieval world at the same time.
Yeah,
in these ways.
But then you've got like this kind of grim story, and at the same time, there's kind of this cutesiness to
Yeah,
it.
the tone-
and
the tone is
every time someone curses, they say, "Dang it!" They have a voice sample that says, "Dang it!" for every character. That's kind of weird.
Dang it! It's not a terrible game. I just didn't happen to think it was as enjoyable as you guys.
For me, this was the Boktai game I've been wanting to play for 3 years. And on top of that, it has really high production values, really good graphics. It has anime clips all the way through, voice acting, a mostly solid translation aside from the dang it. So, you know, it's great stuff in my opinion.
So I think everyone is going to like this game. It's a really
Shane, you're
solid.
the happy medium.
I am. Like,
You're 8.
Yeah.
I'm 9.
I think it's
he's 7.
among the best, most rewarding like action adventure games on DS. Like I like Castlevania still a little bit better, but I think this is right up there with it, and it's a different type of game, a
It
different
is.
presentation.
It's a kind of game you don't really see a lot. I mean, it's isometric. It's kind of Zelda-ish. It's kind of Metal Gear-ish. It's got a little bit of a shooter element to it. It's a lot of different things, and to me, I'm actually happier with it than I am with Castlevania right now, just because it's it's something new.
I think it actually
fresh.
uses the DS more. Like it uses touch panel in some creative ways. It uses dual screen, uses a microphone. Like it's obviously could not have been done on GBA in the same way.
Definitely.
And like we've played these games before on GBA, and I think it's a big improvement actually.
And it ditches the solar sensor, which thank God, because now I play games at night. So when you got to the bosses of Boktai and you had to fight it in sunlight, that was no good. But now you can enjoy Lunar Knights anytime, and it's still the same basic gameplay. So it's kind of like Boktai for everyone. Even if you live in the Arctic Circle, you can enjoy Boktai.
Exactly.
Unless you're Michael.
Oh shit. I got a new video of Insect Infestation from Sean Elliott.
Oh man.
Come check it.
Okay, pull that up on the main screen.
Main screen.
Is that open? Hurry up! I'm trying to help you spawn in faster! We need you to help defend the main burrow! I ran out of stamina. Now I kill him and do like this. Grandma wouldn't like this. But she's sleeping, so I don't care. Guys, it's working! I'm helping you spawn faster! Oh, look at that. Stop shooting me when I'm doing my job. You see how it makes smoke when I do that? That means it's working. Working overtime.